Okay, we are going forward, and even if the node tree is growing, we can add additional stuff. And the next natural step would be to add scratches, because now we know all those places easy to reach, and we can take that together with the scratches to put the scratches in a good way. To add the pattern for the scratches, we can use the blend file that I also have in the description here. So if you have not downloaded scratches, then download that file as well. And after you've done that, then you go to File, Append, and they will find scratches wherever you put it. And then we go to Material, and we can use one of these, and we can use Scratches 01. So we just take Append on that one, and then I select this base here, as I always do. And with this one, I can go to the material properties, and I can change the material into Scratches 01. So we have it in here. And what I will do right now is that I will create a node group out of this. So I will take these three here and then press Ctrl G. So we have a node group. And here all I have to do is add a scale so we can control, because now you can see perhaps that it's rather big here. So we need to create a scale here. So I press Shift A, Converter, and Vector Math, put that in, and I change this to Scale and put that into the vector here. But I should also add some input maps. So Shift A, Input, Texture Coordinate, put that in here, and I can use the object. So here we have the texture coordinate into the scale, and all I have to do now is put the scale into the group input here, and I would like the group output to be a factor, not a color. So I disconnect here, take away the color, and instead I add Shift A, Converter, and a RGB to black and white, and then we get this gray dot here, which is exactly what I would like to have as an output. And I can change the name into factor here as well, so FAC, and then we have a factor here. And that is all I have to do. So now I just press Tab to go out, and I can connect that to this. Doesn't need to do that, I only need this node group, and I change the name for that one. So we can just call it Scratches1. See if I can see if I can find all these keys here. I think I did something. So now I have everything in place. Scratches1, that will be our node group. So now when that's finished, we can then go back to the old material. So I go here and change to color of lantern again. So that is back. And all I have to do now is to add that group and connect it with the information that we have about the edges here. So we start with adding the group, Shift A, and then go to group, and here I will find Scratches1. So I take that in, and then I also need a math to combine it with the edges that we did in the previous session. So it will be just a multiply. So I press Shift A, Converter, and a math, put that in here, and I put in a multiply for this one, and it should be multiplied with, let's see here, the one here, easy to reach edges, because the value out there will give a natural selection for where the edges, also the scratches, should be. So I just take it from here into the multiply here. And the result from this will then be put into vector bump, and that will go around here. So I now press Shift A again, go to vector and bump, and put that in here, and then I can just take this into the height here, and I get bumps here. The problem right now is that it's going up, since the value out here is white, meaning 1, and then it's going up. So we just put in invert here, and then it's going down. They're also really big, so I just take up the scale a bit here, so we get it in a good way. And it can also be so that it is spreading a little bit much, so we can ease that by adding another multiply between easy to reach edges and this multiply to decrease the strength even more. So then I just copy this one, press Shift D, put it in here, and I can keep that to 0.5 because that it's just half the value, so that should be enough. Then I just take this easy to reach up here somewhere again, so we know where we have it. It's not so structured anymore. I think I need to do a cleaning later on, but right now we can cope with this. So now I can change the scale perhaps even more, something like that. And since this is a node group, I can just copy it and do another scale and then use both of them together to get different types of scratches of different sizes. So I just press Shift D here, and then I can take something a bit higher, and then I just use the maximum to combine these two. So Shift A, converter and math, change this to maximum, and connect that and use that as an input here. And then I get a lot of small scratches here, as you can see, but also those big scratches here. So then it's a combination that I can use, and I can see that perhaps we should take that even smaller like that, or I can make these more reasonable, so perhaps something like this. Okay, so now I can see that we have some scratches here and that they are really visible because we have this strength here. And I can keep the visible just a moment more, because what I would like to do is also to brighten them as I did with these edges or these edges here. So I can use the same value, and we can use a max math node here as well. Then we take the max value from the edges or the max value from the scratches and combine that into the factor here. So I just press Shift A again, converter, math, put that to the right line here, change this into maximum, and then we drag it from the result that we got here into the maximum up here. So it can be hard to see right now because we have a bigger node tree, but perhaps if I do it like this and take that down, and then you can see here we have the scratches and we get information from the edges. We do a multiply of that, and then we take the maximum from the edges and the maximum from the scratches, meaning that we get the brightest value out and use that as a factor to brighten the edges and the scratches with this mix node where we have put light in here. So that is what I have done with this maximum here. So then we have that in, and now I can take this up again, and all I have to do now is to make this a little bit less sharp, so not so strong bump here, but it should be perhaps, I don't know, something like that would be more reasonable, I think. So something like this, that should produce some scratches of different sizes here. So now it's just to render and analyze the result. So I will be back after the render. Okay, so my render is finished and I think it turned out great. As you can see, we have a lot of smaller scratches down here, exactly on the line, not so much around it. And if I go up here, we have some scratches a bit outside here, and some here and some here. And you can also see some scratches here. And this is good because this means that we have not overdone it. You don't need to put all the strength on your thing to make it realistic. It's all the details, the small things. So never overdo it. Just add very tiny things and then everything look natural. So we have a lot of scratches here as well, and it's fine. It's a perfect amount. If you want more, then you can increase the multiplier that I put in to decrease the amount of scratches, and you can then also increase the bump if you wanted to get more warmth, so to say. But as I said or explained in the beginning, this tutorial will go from like brand new to rubbish, so that means that I will use these groups with completely different numbers later on to really destroy this. But as a rather new object with a few scratches, this works really nice. So now we have seen this, and then it's just for me to go to the next session and show you the next step, and I'll see you there. So I say bye for now.